Still to come. From 9, Johnny Walker. From 8, Zane Lowe. Right now, it's the Annie Nightingale Request Show.
BBC Radio 1 Vintage.
Hey, this is Annie Nightingale. I've been at Radio 1 since 1970. My first show at Radio 1, well, it was a disaster, actually, because this was the days of vinyl, and there was one record going round and round, and I'd only half learnt how to use the desk, and I thought, I must do something useful. So, that record's just going round and round, it's not doing anything, so I'll just press stop. It was the one that was being broadcast, so no one knew what I had done, and everyone went, and there were 8 seconds of dead air. Now, that is like 8 hours or 8 days before anyone figured out what I had done. And I thought, well, that was it then. They gave me a chance and I've blown it on the first show. But fortunately, I was given another chance, which I'm very grateful for.
Annie Nightingale with a request show from now till 9, JT and the Big Family.
My request show was supposed to be a 3-month filler. And the Radio 1 hierarchy at the time said, I'll just play some good tunes. So I did. And everyone seemed to like that, and it carried on. And we had a great exec then called Teddy Warwick who said, if you play good music, people will ask for more good music. And indeed they did. And it became very much a cult show. And for 3 months it was supposed to last, and it actually lasted for 12 years. Hi. I famously used to say hi at a certain point because I was hoping they won't turn their Radio 1 off after the end of the top 40. So I'd always pick a tune that had been very good and very big within the, say, previous 5 years, and not say anything much so that people would carry on listening. It became very quirky. It was very studenty because I think a lot of people were doing their homework on a Sunday night when they shouldn't have done it on Fridays. And people used to do anything to attract attention, send a request in on a real house brick through the post with stamps on it. Or a banana.
Kate from Glossop says, I'm a 16-year-old slogging through my first year of A-levels.
Duranis. Now, Duranis were fans of Duran Duran, who immensely popular band of the early 80s and had lots of hits. And they were really one of the first big stars of MTV and also of the whole video age. And they'd be on yachts and exotic locations. And they were very, very popular with girls. Their intelligence was incredible. They knew where every member of Duran Duran were. So I would just ask them, they'd stand outside Radio 1 and they go, well, John's with his mum, Simon's gone to Harrow, Nick's seeing their agent, somebody else is at EMI. Their network was extraordinary. They also used to write into me every week, and this is pre-email, so were real letters, and in the bottom right-hand corner, they would write their fan club number. They were witty and funny and didn't take themselves too seriously. I loved them.
On this subject of Durrani handwriting and how to tell it apart from normal people's handwriting, is it generally done in wax crayon?
It developed a life of its own. It was the listener's programme as I always intended it to be. But the music was incredible because people would write me lists of tunes and I'd say, 10 or 12 tunes, and all of them were wonderful. Could have made a whole show out of that one person. But one of those may be something I didn't know. And I thought, well, if all their other choices are really that good, then I'll bet this one will be as well. And that's how I discovered new music as well. And we had our particular sort of cult favourites. And so there was a generation who grew up listening to that show, were at school, went to college through that show. And when I came to write a memoir called Wicked Speed, Irving Welsh, who wrote Trainspotting, asked if he could write the foreword to that book because that show had meant so much to him, who used to be in the bath on Sunday night listening to it when he was a child. So it began in 82, that version of it. 82 went from 82 to 94. But those 12 years are very special to me. I'm still in touch with a lot of people who were correspondents and listeners at that time, and they know who they are.
To hear the full interview, download the podcast at bbc.co.uk/Radio 1 Vintage.
BBC Radio 1. The UK's favourite DJs. And Nightingale Radio 1 Vintage. Tired or short of breath, don't even try. Try a little harder. Something's wrong, you're not naive. You must be strong. Ooh, baby, try. Hey girl, move a little closer. You're too shy, shy. Hush, hush, I do I. Too shy, shy. Hush, hush, I do I. Too shy, shy. Hush, hush, I do I. Too shy, shy. Hush, hush. Modern medicine for sure of your complaints. Try a little harder. You're moving in circles, won't you dilate? Baby, try. Hey girl, move a little closer. 'Cause you're too shy, shy. Hush, hush, I do I. Too shy, shy. Hush, hush, I do I. Too shy, shy. Hush, hush, I do I. Too shy, shy. Hush, hush. You're too shy, shy. Hush, hush, I do I. Too shy, shy. Hush, hush, I do I. Too shy, shy. Hush, hush, I do I. Too shy, shy. Hush, hush. You're too shy, shy. Hush, hush, I do I. Too shy, shy. Hush, hush, I do I. Too shy, shy. Hush, hush, I do I. Too shy, shy. Hush, hush.
Kajagoogoo, too shy. Hello and welcome to Annie. After all, you're only a disc jockey. Thank you very much, Carl of Rowans Avenue, Egham in Surrey. I shall be round later. I can't play you a record for saying something like that, but I will play this for the Friends of Norm. Norm apparently has a fan club of the sixth form common room at the Edward Orme High School, Newcastle under Lyme, and they sent me a badge. It's a bit tacky. It's made of cardboard, and it says, I'm a friend of Norm, but that's good enough for me. All right, now, the controversy about how I can recognise Duran fans' handwriting continues. Somebody whose name I don't believe, I never do, called L.A. Trimby says, on this subject of Durrani handwriting and how to tell it apart from normal people's handwriting, is it generally done in wax crayon? Where they aren't allowed anything sharp like a pen or pencil, surely. Now, Durranis, you know you've got to have a sense of humour, and I know you have because I've got some great letters later on in the programme from Durranis. Anthony North, however, is at Giggleswick School, Settle in North Yorkshire. It's a boarding school, and he says, if you think you've ever had a boring Sunday evening, then you ought to come up here sometime. Is that a definite offer, Anthony? This is the record you can't buy anymore and you desperately want to hear it again.
J'ai sur mon lit à bouffer sa langue en buvant trop mon whisky. Quant à moi, peu dormi, vie débris. Mais j'ai dû dormir dans la gouttière où j'ai eu un flash. En 4 couleurs. Allez hop, un matin, une louloute est venue chez moi. Poupée de cellophane, cheveux chinois. Un sparadrap, une gueule de bois. A bu ma bière dans un grand verre en caoutchouc. Comme un indien dans son igloo. Ça plane pour moi. Ça plane pour moi. Ça plane pour moi. Moi. Ça plane pour moi. Ça plane pour moi. Allez hop, la nana, quelle panard, quelle vibration de s'envoyer sur paillasson, limé, ruiné, vidé, comblé. You are the king of the divan, qu'elle me dit en passant. I am the king of the divan. Ça plane pour moi, ça plane pour moi, ça plane pour moi, moi, ça plane pour moi. Ça plane pour moi. Allez hop, t'occupe, t'inquiète, touche pas ma planète. It's not today que le ciel me tombera sur la tête et que la colle me manquera. Ça plane pour moi. Allez hop, banana, c'est tiré, c'est barré, enfin c'est marre à tout casser. L'évier, le bar me laissant seul comme un grand connard. Le pied dans le plat, ça plane pour moi, ça plane pour moi, ça plane pour moi, moi, ça plane pour moi. Ça plane pour moi, ça plane pour moi, ça plane pour moi, ça plane pour moi,
Classic Bertrand of Belgian fame and Ça plane pour moi. God, takes me back to gigs, that does. Used to be a terrific one to play at gigs. Maybe I shall do it again if everybody still remembers it. They will now. John Dickey from Curtis Avenue, Kings Park in Glasgow has come up with a good variation on the song titles story thought. His is based on song titles of the number ones of 1983, as follows. As Phil Collins hobbled out the door, his wife cried, "Remember, you can't hurry love." It was true that he had broken his leg. He'd fallen over a candy girl in Brighton. Why does Brighton always have to figure in these things? Who was selling red wine. Her name was Billie Jean, but she had to give it up when she gave birth to baby Jane. She'd wanted a baby, but instead got a karma chameleon. Oh, how unusual. She's certainly been an uptown girl, and her motto was always, wherever I lay my hat, that's my home. Down under, she'd never been too shy. Phil fell instantly in love with her and had a total eclipse of the heart. But Billie Jean said, "Save our love." "Why? Is this something I should know?" asked Phil. "Let's dance." "No," she screamed. Or rather, "No," she screamed. "Every breath you take, the smell of onions almost knocks me down." And with that, the two promptly dropped dead. What a sad ending, John. We could have had a happy ending, I'd have thought. Matthew Woodhouse from Crown Hills in Leicester also came up with a song title story on Boomtown Rats. It's ever so long though. Still, instead of which, I shall play you their new single. It Grows. It's called Tonight.
Well, I don't wanna have to take you out, but I will. Say I will. Don't wanna have to damage anyone, but I'd kill, kiss and kill. I don't intend to take this lying down with my head between my hands. No, I don't intend to copy any bird that keeps its head stuck in the sand. Oh, you scratch my back and maybe I'll claw yours. You understand being used. And if you feel a little itchy now, you won't mind being abused. Tonight, towers crumble. Tonight, the mountains fall. Tonight, no one stumbles.
If the next record has sort of strange slurping sounds all over it, it's because I've just balanced the coffee cup in a very dangerous place right on the edge of the turntable. Still, we shall carry on. Now, I did say earlier, I think that I had some very funny Durrani communications. For example, I've got to say hello to Claire, Sarah, Mad, Deb, Amanda, Lisa, Carol, Muzzy, Misty and Smarty the hamster. And they all come from High Barn, Sunderland, Tyne and Wear. And it says, this is just a note to remind you that it is Suzanne Brinsley Lister's birthday. As I'm sure I don't have to remind you, she is the world-famous inventor of what to do with a John Taylor badge when your brass strap snaps in PE. Even cheekier, Lisa Hamill from Eddington in Doncaster says, in order to cure colds, and she says, I hope you feel... Yes, I do feel better, thank you. She says, you dream that you are in Australia, arm in arm with John Taylor, who is only wearing a pair of shorts and sexy sunglasses. You are passing romantic glances. His hand slips down to your bottom. You both turn and he passionately kisses you. Unfortunately, there the record ends. I had to say that or it wouldn't have been decent for the radio. It isn't decent anyway. Lisa, you should be ashamed of yourself. Here's a tale of woe from Alison from Ashfield Road, Rochdale in Lancashire. She says, I'm listening to your programme in my bedroom, which is absolutely freezing because the radiator doesn't work and all the snow brought the trough down. So there's water pouring through my window. I have to sit here huddled up in my blankets, ripping up rags to stuff in my window and then have to rush downstairs after your show so that the icicles don't form. This is a terrible state of affairs. I mean, I think a government investigation is definitely required, Alison. We really must do something about you. It's terrible. She says, please take pity on a poor little soul and play this request for me. Dedicate it to Shady, because I miss him very much. And, well, the song says it all.
to come.
Person in a white coat coming out of the mist. He holds a digital recording machine and he's screaming, "The future is besmirched by brown bread." Bruce is boring, Morrissey is a prat, Jim Kerr is a wonder, Matt Johnson is a saint, David Byrne is God, and Jonathan Ross is mine. Please stay tuned. I've been looking forward all week to this show. I do every week, but particularly tonight is very special. Wallowing in nostalgia, me nowhere.
Radio 1.
Prince on compact disc in 1999 for Sasha Mills from Longford in Derbyshire, who says, "Please say hello, my babies, to Ailsa, Louise, Tina, Louise D, Piers and Andy, and Melt. She's Danish, bubbling bacon fat. What a nice thing to say about your friend, Sasha." Joe Knight from Boxmoor and Hemel Hempstead says, "I think your show's the best." Everybody says that. You're just trying to get round me, I know. Or maybe I'm getting cynical. "I think your show's the best on the radio. Simon Bates is also a good old stick." I'm afraid I can't agree with that. Apparently, he was going around telling everybody that I was in the Bahamas. That's why I wasn't here last Sunday. Absolutely untrue. And all those things Mark Anna said. I was in Brighton. I mean, jolly, wonderful Brighton. But I did finally go and see Absolute Beginners. And I thought the best bit in it was this, Ray Davies' song.
Something's happening, but I'm just gonna turn a blind eye. If I see no evil, I ask no questions and I hear no lies. Can't communicate with minds that are small. With some people it's like talking to the wall. And the fellow who walks away lives to battle another day. And I've really got no appetite for a fight, not tonight. All I want is a quiet life. Anything for a quiet life. No ambition to rock the boat when I can just stay afloat and be content with a quiet life. All I want is a quiet life. Anything for a quiet life. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil at all. Confidentially between these walls, I'm on top of it all. I'd rather have them think I'm deaf, dumb and blind than aggravation every time I speak my mind. Keep still and have a quiet life. Anything for a quiet life. I could easily blow my tongue, start around, but why start now? Give your daddy a quiet life. Give your mama a quiet life. Anything for a quiet life. Give your daddy a quiet life. Give your mama a quiet life. Anything for a quiet life. Confidentially between these walls, I'm on top of it all.
Well, for the last few weeks now, there's been controversy raging about who is God. It all started off with Bruce Springsteen, is he God or not? And it's gone on from there. Now, Chiara Hendry, I believe that's how you pronounce your first name, from Ember in Scotland, says, just to set the record straight, once and for all, Bruce is boring, Morrissey is a prat, Jim Kerr is a wonder, Matt Johnson is a saint, David Byrne is God, and Jonathan Ross is mine.
Hey baby, you go your way, and I'll go mine. But in the meantime, when we're together, touching each other, and our bodies do what we feel when we're dancing, smooching and swaying, tender love song, softly playing. Move closer, move your body real close until we feel like we're really making love. Move your body real close until we feel like we're really making love. So when I say sugar and I whisper I love you, well, I know you're gonna answer in the sweetest words, saying, my pretty lady, I love you too. Well, there's much room for passion. Ooh, no, no, there's no room for fear. When good love flows smoothly between us, baby, my dear, move closer, move your body real close until we feel like we're really making love. Move closer, move your body real close until we feel like we're really making
Move Closer from Philip Nelson. Phyllis Nelson, why am I changing her sex for her? Peter Hart from Lakebank Road, Hull, wants to say that he loves his girlfriend Mandy very much. Next one up is for you. I just want to tell you about there's a magazine called Making Music, which is really for musicians, and they have some extremely silly things in it. And they've just had their first birthday edition. So first of all, happy birthday to Making Music, because it's a very fun magazine. And they've got a new person, a new astrologer on their staff called Madame Griselda. Now, she can tell your fortune by what kind of underpants you wear. It's true. So I'll read you out one and some more later on. Now, if you wear plain white briefs, Madame Griselda says you have an obsession with cleanliness. You always use noise reduction and abhor fuzz pedals. There is a person in a white coat coming out of the mist. He holds a digital recording machine and he's screaming, "The future is besmirched by brown bread." You and your group must avoid health food shops and write at least 2 songs praising red meat.
It's so hard loving you, but I don't wanna let you go. A little darling, I need you. A little darling, I love you. Little darling, I want you. Little darling, got to have you. And if it means giving up my pride, I'm willing to give it a
me. So if I have to be your number one fool before you care about me, then I'm willing to pay the price, be your number one fool, make that sacrifice, oh baby. Only my pillow knows how many tears I've cried, baby. Only my heart knows the awful hurt I feel inside, baby. My life is so lonely, waiting for you to love me only. Now I'm willing to pay the price, be your number one fool, and it is sacrifice. Little darling, I need you. Little darling, I love you. Little darling, I want you. Little darling, got to have you. It's so hard loving you, baby. It's so hard.
Radio 1.
Vintage.
You're listening to Radio 1 Vintage, and up next, it's me, Zane Lowe. Catch the show in around 20 minutes' time.
Radio 1.
Vintage.
Hey girl, we got a party to go to tonight. But alright, I've been saving up all day just for this. I am ready and I am out the door, out the door. I'm still crying for you, babe.
Abigail with a request show from now till 9. JT and the big family, Moments in Soul. Kate from Glossop says, I'm a 16-year-old slogging through my first year of A-levels, buried under a pile of coursework every Sunday. Excuse the winging and creeping. Kate, you're doing English A-level. I think you meant whinging. OK, project for tonight is this. A friend of mine last night told me about the hum line. She'd heard about it on the radio. You ring it up, if you can't remember the name of a song or something, and you hum it. And I want to know what is the number? Please, 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 if you've got access to a fax tonight and you can let me know, because it's driving me crazy, please, please, please send us a fax on 071 636 2467, 071 636 2467, if you know the hum line number.
From the different flags or enthusiastic.
New single from The Fall.
Escape, Freedom March.
Free range.
social comment there, as usual, from the Fall free range. Why, though? Why do the Fall have to go and play at Brixton Academy the night after the Primal Scream all-nighter? Oh, dear. Phil Hall from Heriot Watt University in Edinburgh says, what's the difference between an Edinburgh University student and a brain-dead ape? Answer, there isn't one. Bit of...
All of them, but those that you have loved and requested since the show started in 1982, our favourites, so please stay tuned. I've been looking forward all week to this show. I do every week, but particularly tonight is very special. Wallowing in nostalgia, me nowhere.
Happy in the haze of a drunken hour, but heaven knows I'm miserable now. I was looking for a job and then I found a job, and heaven knows I'm miserable now. In my life, why do I give valuable time to people who don't care if I live or entwined, pass me by, and heaven knows I'm miserable now. I was looking for a job and then I found a job, and heaven knows I'm miserable now. In my life, oh why do I give valuable time to people who don't care if I live or die? Of me at the end of the day, Caligula would have blushed. Oh, you've been in the house too long, she said, and I naturally fled. In my life, why do I smile at people who I'd much rather kick in the eye? Happy in the haze of a drunken hour, but heaven knows I'm miserable now. Oh, you've been in the house too long, she said, and I naturally fled. In my life, oh, why do I give valuable time to people who don't care if I
Nightingale with the last request show in this slot before the new time of 10 p.m. till 1 a.m. next Sunday. So tonight is very, very special. Don't go away. This is for Tim Byrne. Together we made this a hit, truly. And we played it to death in Santa Monica.